Welcome to Heel Heat. This is our WWE episode for the week. My name is George Coles, and this is my tag team partner, Zip.
Hashtag multi-million dollars Gary Rhodes. Hashtag.
First, we want to go into the SmackDown and a guy that's been impressing us lately. He's been on my radar for a while. Formerly Claudio Castagnoli, now Antonio Cesaro.
Very impressive dude, man. I'm really psyched to see him do more.
He's got a good look, good size to him, good build, and he's got an impressive finisher. The Jerry Lynn Cradle Pile Driver Face First Slam. I'm not sure what they're calling it yet, but it's impressive. It looks good. It's legit. He looks like a legit. He's got clean wins over the U.S. champion twice.
2 times, sucker.
Which, is should hopefully bring it to SummerSlam.
Which would probably give Cesaro the belt.
Hopefully.
Well, I've heard on the dirt sheets that Cesaro is going to win it and turn it into the European title since his old gimmick. Who knows?
Good. I like that idea.
I think
kind of like the Canadian Championship when Lance Storm had it.
Well, they're not doing nothing with the U.S. title. It's almost a joke belt, anyways. At least if he had it, they'd be putting some dignity back into it because I'm really tired of the Cobra.
And then speaking of SmackDown, the big angle on SmackDown this week is the new GM Booker T, the 5-time. And Booker came out, he's doing a solid. He did a solid job. I mean, the GM really is just a figure at this point. It's kind of not necessary, but I think it's a perfect role for him. He's a great talker that's been forced into the announcing role, and he's floundered at it because he's being spoon-fed these.
Well, the thing is, it's like Cole don't save him.
No.
And I think if he had a better partner at it, I think he would do better. I think he's a better talker than his brother was, and his brother was I thought his brother did an awesome job as a commentator.
Well, he had Mark Madden with him, didn't he?
Yeah.
And, Madden's not great, but he was decent.
Better than Cole.
Yeah, well, that's not saying much.
Yeah.
Although I do like Cole in some pairings. I liked him with Taz, and I liked him with JBL.
Well, JBL was, he was just awesome as a commentator.
So was Taz. He was a rocket buster.
Rocket buster.
But, you go into that, and speaking of that, and that kind of ties into our question of the week last week. We didn't watch SmackDown before taping last week's video. Our question was, who should replace Lawler? Which we can use as Lawler or Booker T. Now, we had some submissions from some of our fans. Paul Pickett, you know him from the Deadly Sins. He said HBK, Shawn Michaels. I think that's a wonderful selection. He's a good talker. I don't know if he wants to do the schedule that they're doing. That's the reason why he retired, is so he didn't have to be on schedule.
But if he only had to work Tuesdays or Mondays, I don't think there'd be a problem. You're one Sunday a month.
But that's what he had before. He had that schedule. He didn't have to go to the house shows. But he's a good pick. I like him. On purely anybody you could put in there, I like the idea. It was a good thought. Then we got Burek Graham, a good friend of mine. He picked himself. Booge, I like you. You're a good dude. Not sure that it would go over too well. But, it'd be more interesting than Michael Cole.
I think anybody would be more interesting than Michael Cole.
I agree.
Katie Vick would be better than Michael Cole.
And then we got one of our Twitter followers, Otto Von Fox. He gave us 2 excellent seletions. Paul Heyman and Stone Cold Steve Austin. I think, now Stone Cold, it would work. I think his ego would get in the way of him doing it well. But Paul Heyman,
he could make a person look like gold.
It would be perfect. Paul Heyman and JR, I think were as good, if not better, than JR and the King.
Okay.
And he'd be a good replacement.
Well, who would you? Would that be your choice?
You know who I really think would make a decent one, and they could bring him in, and he'd probably be cheap. Colt Cabana. I mean, he's a great talker. He's pretty funny. He could work heel or face. He's got the ties to CM Punk. They obviously don't want to use him as a wrestler. But I think he did some commentating for Dragon Gate USA, and he does a good job. He's a good talker. Plus, he knows his stuff.
My pick, and you'd probably think I'd probably pick JBL again, 'cause I like JBL. I liked him as an announcer. I would say Raven. Raven did awesome when he was Johnny Polo.
When they did the way back in the day.
Way back in the day, and you know he made the heels look good and the faces look terrible, and that's what you're supposed to do when you're the heel guy. You know, you're supposed to let the face commentator build the face guy up, and you're supposed to tear him apart, and he did awesome at it. And he did a lot of good pot shots, and you know, not like Rey Mysterio or Randy Orton pot shots, but you know, below the belt
Pot shots.
Yeah, not hookah.
We know that Ray's not taking shots of the cocaine now.
Holy shit!
Did you see that pouch on him?
I didn't know if that was Ray Trailer or not when I saw him in the ring.
God, Silver King stole Rey Mysterio's mask.
Oh, that's messed up. I was going to use that one. Stole my gimmick.
And you know, then getting into that, and then off of that, thanks for all the suggestions, you guys. They were awesome. This week's question of the week comes from it was also a suggestion from a good friend of mine. He's been my friend basically my whole life, Roy Nagel. He said, who had the best entrance? Now, we'll let you guys decide if you want to put just one specific entrance, like Shawn at WrestleMania 12, or Triple H with the Motorhead entrance,
or Triple H with the Conan entrance,
or if you want to go just the general entrance like Sandman or Undertaker. But give us your opinion, let us know why you think that is, and tell us who you think had the best entrance.
I'm going to give you a shoot. It's going to be the Gobbledygooker Survivor Series. It's a Guerrero. It's a beans warrior, or turkey, I guess. Anyway,
but then going right into the Raw show, it starts off with the 20-minute boring interview to start the night, which is a precursor of what's going on the whole night. Everything was boring. You got Ray and Punk. Hey, wake up.
Oh, I thought it was the first 20 minutes of Raw.
the whole night was boring. You got Ray versus Punk for the 8 billionth time. It's a decent match. They're two good workers, so they make the match
and
good.
It looked like Ray was working at buffet before he got in that ring. I don't know about you.
He was working on something.
Whew.
He definitely wasn't working out on his time off.
No, he wasn't.
He had a little too many Twinkies.
Oh.
Yeah, have you seen the Deadly Sins and I think his name's Natter. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong. Deadly Sins and Natter had a contest who could eat 10 Twinkies the fastest.
Oof. I didn't see that one.
Natter won, but Deadly Sins had a good showing.
I don't think there's any winner if you eat 10 Twinkies that fast.
No, that was I linked the videos on our Facebook and our Twitter page earlier, but that just reminded me of that. Sorry, cheap plug for you guys. Check them out. They're good guys.
Mick Foley over here is giving me a cheap plug. Now, if you guys start selling stuff, you'll turn into Shawn Michaels.
I'll start wearing all their gimmicks. And then,
yeah, what just that?
Then you go this show just kept dragging on and on and on and on. And you know, you had the one segment that I thought would save it, which would be Triple H, Brock Lesnar, Shawn Michaels, and the obvious thing would be have Brock destroy
Shawn,
or even destroy both of them.
I don't know, because you don't really want them to really get into it as much until the pay-per-view. I think they've already had their altercations. Yeah, I think they're going to, you know, psychologically, I think they're going to try to keep them separate and just, you know, it's going to be a battle of the mouth. And then when it gets down to it, now that Shawn's going to be in his corner, do you think it's going to take away from the match?
I mean, I think anytime you put Shawn on TV, it adds to the match. You seen what it did at WrestleMania. It added to that match.
It did.
It made the match from the year before that much more special.
But Brock needs this win, because, I mean, his first match back to Cena, he lost.
Here's what I don't get, though. You got Brock, and he's acting like a normal general heel by running away from the fight, whereas Brock's supposed to be the baddest man on the planet. Shouldn't he stand up to the fight? You know, shouldn't he be the destroyer for now?
Then he would get cheered. I'm sorry. That's my opinion of it.
Well, how do you get cheered in San Antonio destroying Shawn Michaels?
You know, that's the thing. Here's what should have happened is Triple H shouldn't have came out. He should have destroyed Shawn, and then Shawn be announced to be in Triple H's corner in a couple of weeks when the pay-per-view happens.
With a broken arm gimmick.
Exactly.
Or
then Shawn hits Triple H with a cast and costs him the match.
Ooh, I like that.
Heel.
Good booking. As I've said before, we should book the show.
I'm thinking we should.
We do better than they do.
You think you're ready?
But anyway, then you know, you got the other thing that I thought was a highlight to probably one of the shittiest Raws that's been out in five years. That show was fucking horrible. I'm sorry if you liked it. I'm sorry if you think this is a bad choice, but that show was fucking terrible.
Oh man, it drug on.
Yeah,
it drug on.
Oh my god, if we weren't watching it together, I probably would have fell asleep at hour one.
That's the reason I came over, man. I'll be honest with you, because I knew I was going to fall asleep if I watched it at the house by myself, man. I'm telling you that much right now, because honestly, you know, after the fact, I know I would have fell asleep, and I would be like either catching up on TiVo or something like that just to watch it so I wouldn't screw people over. I'm not going to sit there and talk about, you know, a show and not watch it.
Yeah. You got the one interesting thing of the night, the Chris Jericho on commentary.
Chris Jericho being Y2J again.
Yeah, he finally took the face turn all the way. Said the Ayatollah of rock and roll.
Oh yeah, goosebumps, kid. I'm like this.
He brought up the whole, you know, he turned back into Y2J. He's talking, you know, he's not doing the monotone, scary voice.
Well, it's towards the end of his career. Let's be honest. I mean, he's got over 20 years in, and he's going to come in. He's going to do the job for Ziggler and build Ziggler up, make Ziggler look like $1 million, just like he did when he first came back at WrestleMania and made Punk look like $1 million.
Right, and then I mean, it was good. I liked him wearing the Ziggler shirt. That was funny to me.
I found it in the trash.
That was funny. He's good on it, and that'd be another guy. If he could schedule it around Fozzie's appearances, why not have him be an announcer? I mean, it would work for me.
I would, you know, like I said, I think some of the choices that we've brought up and had the fans talk about were also, any of them were better than Lawler. And I liked Lawler back in the day.
He's just,
when he was with Jim Ross, when they worked together.
His gimmick's just gotten to the point where it's, at least he's not screaming puppies every 5 minutes anymore. Yeah. But you know, it is what it is. And then, you know, it ended with the Y2J plugging the towel. Oh my god.
I'm so tired of towels, man.
I'm so fucking sick of Tout being pushed down our goddamn throats. Tout is the.
Why don't you just call it Cena? Why don't you just call it, because they push Cena down our throats? Why don't you just call it Cena?
It's the fucking social media equivalent of John Cena. I understand you own part of Tout. I got it.
You know, Tout's gonna make a Make-A-Wish dream come true.
It probably will.
They're going on 300. He's gonna beat Hogan too.
No,
that'll put some asses in the seats.
And then Hogan will get his win back when Bischoff signs him to the contract.
Exactly.
Jesus Christ. But, you know, it's horrible. You know, you got that between the 900 fucking... Dude, they showed the same replays 4 or 5 times.
Well, the first 5 minutes of Raw was all replays of last week.
They're killing it. It's the extra hour has added an hour of replay and tell. And the Twitter gimmick with Punk and Mysterio. I mean, I don't think that
it's Taboo Tuesday all over again.
I mean, did this seem rigged to you?
Oh, well, okay, you put Rey Mysterio, their baby face, and 2 heels. Who do you think they're? I mean, Kane.
Well, Kane's not really.
Kane's a tweener still. I mean, he's not 100% baby face. You know, he's never really 100% baby face. But I mean, you got their golden boy kind of baby face like a Cena or a Mysterio. You know they're gonna win.
Yeah, and then, I thought it was rigged. I don't. From what I seen on Twitter at the time, I seen a lot of people voting for Miz that were doing serious votes. There were some funny, not serious ones. I seen Punk versus Akeem, Punk versus Doink, Punk versus Cabana. You know, some people took a shit on it, which, you know, was funny because it should have been shit on.
Exactly. Maybe if enough people take shits on these touts,
these
votes, these twits, maybe that they'll quit doing that shit.
Yeah, and then, I mean, I get it. If you do it once a night and you want to engage your fans in that, you got, when they come out, it already says their Twitter name under it.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that's good. I don't mind that. Go ahead and put that on there. But if you do it once a night where you have the one vote a night, I'm okay with that.
Mm-hmm.
Or you show like one little highlight reel somewhere in the night, perfectly fine by me. It's the same as the Karate Fighters karate moment of the night.
Honestly, it's just getting ridiculous. It's killing time that they could have real wrestling matches. You got so many guys that are in that business or that are in that building right then and there. They could have put 3 solid matches on at a time when they were doing all this bullshit.
Well, you imagine if they would have gave Christian and Del Rio a good amount of time. Two good workers. Christian, one of my favorites. I know he's one of your favorites too. One of the best workers they got. And Del Rio, no slouch in the ring, whether you like him or not.
No.
A lot of people don't like his gimmick, but
I'm not a fan of the gimmick, but I respect his ability.
he's good worker.
No, the thing is, the reason Vince was so hard on him, or so high on him, was because he did that UFC kind of style fighting for a little bit. But I mean, he lost.
He got destroyed.
Exactly. And I mean, honestly, if him and Punk got into a shoot fight, who do you think would win?
Well, he might.
I don't know. Punk.
Yeah,
I think
Punk
Punk's
does-
legitimately tougher.
Punk traces what I think Renner Gracie he trains with.
Yeah.
One of the Gracies. It's whatever.
I think Gracie doesn't matter, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's Renner, to be honest with you. I'm not 100% sure. If I'm wrong, correct me, like Paul did. Paul pointed out, because I said doink the dumpster Drozy
Oh, did you?
on the
I didn't even hear it. Damn.
on the review.
Studying you.
He pointed it out, man. Thanks for calling me out, Paul. I appreciate that.
There you
keeping
go.
me honest.
There's
But,
nothing
you know.
you lost.
We don't edit out
No.
our mistakes. We keep them in there.
Now, speaking of honest, who do you think the heel of the week would be?
I think it would be Daniel Bryan.
I'll go with you on that. Just a close call to me, though. I mean, it was close.
Well,
The only reason he got over.
Well, the thing of it was is he turned the "Let's go Cena, Cena sucks." He turned that chant into the fans yelling yes at him, which he's getting a crowd response.
Oh, dude, he was burying Cena in there.
And he's in the main event of the night. He had the new logo on his pants. I like the new logo. It was kind of cool. Maybe they'll do T-shirts or whatever with the no and.
I think they probably already started, man.
Yeah, it's the ball's already rolling. The kid is awesome. It took him 10 years to get there. He's finally there, and it looks like Vince is finally believing in him enough that he can run with the ball to do matches with Cena's and the Ortons of the world.
Well, he carried Cena. You know,
Well,
I mean, you have to, if you want a good, solid looking match, you have to put Cena with somebody that can really work. And you know, just cover all his mistakes. And Bryant did it, just like Punk does.
Yeah, Bryan, he's freaking awesome. The kid, he's probably the best worker in the business right now, bar none. And that's even saying CM Punk, who I really like a lot.
Oh yeah.
Punk's a little bit above him talk wise, but
I think Bryan's gonna catch up. Punk, there's like 3-4 years in age difference. You know, and in wrestling,
they're right about the same age.
Now Punk is my age, and Bryant I think just turned 30, maybe 31.
Well, it's
So you know, I'm just saying there's 3
Well,
years in being a wrestler is like
and
10 years in anything else.
And you know, Daniel Bryan, he's our heel of the week. Our runner-up though was actually the heel of the week last week. If you watched our WWE show, a kid that's been impressing more and more every time he comes out there, Damian Sandow.
Oh yeah.
He came out and he destroyed Brodus Clay. And this is Brodus' first actual feud, it looks like.
Oh yeah.
And
what I think what he should have done is do this whole feud with Brodus, and I honestly think that he'll shine.
yeah.
Both of them will. It's going to help both their careers out. After this, I would have put the IC belt on.
Oh, definitely. The kid has amazing talent. He's another one like Daniel Bryan that's fought and clawed his way to get to where he is, and you can see it in the way he works. He loves doing what he does. Does his gimmick borrow for people? Yeah, he borrows from the Genius. Yeah, he borrows from the Model. I mean,
Yeah.
but who doesn't?
Exactly. I mean, it's time.
CM Punk borrows from Raven.
Exactly. I mean, there's no traditional.
Daniel Bryan's borrowing from Bob Backlund.
Exactly, but there's no new thing anymore. I mean, everything's been done.
Yeah.
Everything has to be rehashed. It's just that when you repackage it in something good. And they finally, with some of these guys, are finally getting it down pat.
And I think and that's another thing, the youth that they got there now, the Antonio Cesaro. Well, they're younger, not young.
They're not guys that we've had on television for a while.
You got the guys that are coming up and coming in: Antonio Cesaro, Damian Sandow, Brodus Clay. I like Rex and Hawkins. I don't know why they're being force-fed as jobbers.
Another thing is, where was the Usos this week?
Oh my God, where the Usos? You know what we feel. We've said it several times on our show. The Usos are the best tag team they got. yet you're forcing us down the throat with the part-time players, which are garbage. But
Junkyard Dog's fun. Anyways.
But, you know, it is what it is. Overall, Raw was as boring could be. SmackDown wasn't much better. Hopefully it gets better as the weeks go on.
So if you had to rate it from 1 to 10.
A -7.
You're really going to
Oh, man, it was horrible. That's one of the worst episodes of Raw I've ever seen.
Even with Punk in it?
Yeah, even with Punk in it.
Oh.
But, you know, that's basically, what would you rate it?
Maybe a 2 or a 3. I wouldn't totally kill it. You know.
But, you know,
that's shitting on it there.
Basically, you know, that's about all we really have to say about this boring-ass week of WWE wrestling. My name is George Coles, and
# multimillionaire Gary Rhodes.
And this has been Heel Heat.